Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kat. I am the Nurse Flipper. If this is your first time here, welcome. I today am going to give you some tips on buying on online auctions as well as in-person auctions. I'm going to go over the different kinds of auctions as well as the different fees that are associated with them, talk to you about buying both local as well as having items shipped, and hopefully demystify a little bit of this. So if you're a collector or if you're a reseller like myself looking for those big dollar value items that you can flip or add to your collection at a lower price, then this is a video for you. All right, so first I am going to just talk to you, go over some common terms that are used on auctions, the different types of auctions, as well as things you need to pay attention to when buying from auctions. Then I will share some screenshots from my favorite auction, which is High Bid, just to point out and show you actual screen of where to find the items that I am talking about. If you're wondering how to find these auctions, you can simply go to Google, put in your area, search for either online auctions or estate auctions, and there are hundreds of online auction companies. There are also hundreds and thousands, I'm sure, of local auction companies to be found. So I'm not going to cover this in this video. It is a very simple search. I would say to vet the auction company, like try to find someone who has perhaps used it or stick to the more well-known ones. My favorite one is High Bid. And if you're wondering what qualifies me to be talking to you about this now, I sold over $150,000 on eBay and e-commerce platforms last year, a lot of high dollar items, and over 90% of them were sourced from auctions. So when it comes to online auctions, there are several different kinds, and you definitely need to pay attention because each type of auction is to be dealt with differently. So the first kind of auction is online only. That is my preference. That means only the people that are watching it online are able to bid on it. There are no people in person. There is nobody else. And typically your online auctions, at least on High Bid and a lot of the other platforms, are going to be soft close. Now, what that means is that if somebody placed a bid within the last 2 minutes, that bidding will be extended by 2 minutes. So there is no sniping allowed. I will tell you, my favorite local online auction does not have soft close, and I will be the one taking it from you with 5 seconds to end. So you definitely have to think about how you're bidding on these types of auctions, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that after we go over the rest of them. So online auction or online only means that auction is only online. The second type is a webcast, and what that one is, it means you can be looking at it online and you can be bidding, but the auction is being broadcast via the web, and there are also local buyers in the auction house or gallery or wherever that location is that are bidding against you. Now, I will tell you, if you are bidding on a webcast auction, I recommend you watch the whole thing. So that means if that auction takes 6 to 8 hours, you're sitting in front of a computer screen if you want a really good chance at winning those items. All of the webcast auctions that I bid on, I do watch the entire thing. The other type is going to be absentee bidding. So what that means is the items are put up online. You are allowed to bid on them to a certain point. A lot of times it'll be until midnight before the actual day of the auction, and then live bidders come and have a chance to outbid you. So in an absentee auction, you really need to put the highest amount you're willing to pay because you have no recourse. You can't up your bid after that window closes. So I very, very rarely will bid on absentee auctions. Now, there are also in-person auctions. There are two close to me. There's one that I actually like to go to. I've only been once in the past couple of years. And I want to kind of go over pros and cons versus online and in person. So the nice thing about online only auctions is that you have the time to research the items that you are looking at. You can figure out how much you want to pay. A lot of the sites allow you to enter comments. I know that HiBid does, and I do use that function. So as a reseller, I will put the amount that it sells for on eBay, and that way I know if I want to increase my bid or not when I am watching that auction. Now, I do tend to watch the auctions at the end if I really want them. If you are going to do that, I typically will put in one bid, even if I am automatically outbid, just so that I know I really want that item, and I can go to current bids and see what I am outbid on. And then I will wait until the very end, until there are between 4 and 5 minutes left before I actually bid as high as I'm willing to go. The other option is you can go ahead, put in your max bid that you're willing to pay, and if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. However, if you choose that way, you're going to have people like me that are going to come in at the end, and with 4 minutes to go, I could very possibly take it from you, especially if I was willing to pay more than you are, and you might miss out by only $1. So I don't want to be the person missing out by $1, but you do need to be very, very careful that you don't overpay. It is very easy to get caught up in bidding, and you just keep going and going, and you pay way more than you want to for an item. So I like the fact that you can research. The cons to it is not all of them offer previews. Some of them do offer previews. The problem with that for me is typically most of the auctions I bid on are well over 2 hours from my house, and driving there to go to an auction preview and actually view the items in person is just not convenient for me. So I bid on them according to what I see in the pictures. As far as the Webcast auctions, they are great. Again, I would recommend watching the whole thing, but a lot of times there might be a lag and you might not get a bid in time, and the floor bidder is going to get it over you, and you have no recourse over that. Now, that's not to say I don't bid on Webcast auctions, because there are quite a few that I do bid on, but just be aware that if there's any discrepancy, it is going to go to the floor bidder, which means it's going to go to the person that is there live in person bidding. Now, as far as in person, the pros of that is you get to look at the merchandise, you get to see it, you get to touch it, and you can really look at the item where you can't with just photos. But the con to that is that it could take hours and hours. I'm in Florida. It's 90 to 100 degrees. I would be out in that weather for probably 6 to 8 hours, if not longer, if I stayed at my in-person auction. I have a 3-year-old who will not sit still for that long, and I don't want to be out in that heat for that long anyways. And another con as far as my local auction is they will run 2 rings, which means they will be bidding in 2 separate areas of the actual auction, and you can only be in one place at a time. So that definitely is a downfall. And again, having to wait, and the item you want might be last up, which means you would have to wait the whole 8 hours just for that one item. But it is fun to go. I do like going. I know the order that they go in at my auction, so I tend to look at the stuff that I know will come up first, and then I will go if I see something in that front end of the auction. There are different things that you should pay attention to, both at in-person as well as online auctions. The first one is going to be the buyer's premium. So you're placing a bid, but they're also going to charge you a fee for the convenience of hosting the items you're bidding on. Most times the seller is also charged a fee. Now that fee can range from $0. I actually am going to show you a screenshot of an auction that has a $0 buyer's premium. up to 25, sometimes even 30%. And I will tell you, in my area, the most common has been 20 to 25%. So if I bid $10, I'm also going to have a $2 fee on that item, which would bring it to $12. So you need to pay very close attention and take that into account with your bidding, is that bidder's fee is not being added into your bid. Now, with online auctions, a lot of them have very, very strict pickup dates if you are buying in person, and I am going to go over buying items that are shipped to you. But if you are buying in person and you have a full-time job and you're not available every day, you might not want to bid on some of those. You can call the auction house and ask them if they will hold them. Some of them will and some of them won't. So if they're at an estate and they have 2 days to get the stuff out of there, so they say pickup is Wednesday and Thursday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you can't make it between 8 and 4 on those days, you will forfeit your merchandise. You will have already paid and you have no recourse, because that is in their terms and conditions. So make sure that you know when you have to pick up. Some of them are great. They will bring it back to their auction house, or they might have access to the estate a little bit longer and they say, yeah, I can hold it until Saturday when you come, but not all of them do. So that is something you would definitely want to check on before actually placing any bids. Now, when it comes to shipping, I get asked all the time as far as high bid, because I show what I sold. Did I buy the items local or did I buy them shipped? The answer to that is that it is about half and half. I buy probably about the same amount online to have it shipped, as well as local. And local to me, and I'm going to show you some screenshots here in a few moments, local to me is 100 to 150 miles. I'm in a very rural area, and to get to any good auctions for me is going to take me at least 2 hours each way. I typically drive between 2 and 3 hours each way, and I've driven up to as much as 5 hours each way. So if you're in a rural area and you aren't finding auctions, you might need to expand how far you are looking by a little bit more, and you will need to drive if you are going to pick up. So as far as shipping on online auctions, what do you need to know? Because I keep getting comments that I'm getting price gouged on this, they're charging me too much, and I can tell you, in my experience, those auctions tell you most of the time how much they are going to charge. So the first thing you need to look at, if you are like blind searching for whatever you're searching for, I am not going to give you, nor will I ever give you, my keywords that I use to search, because that's just not smart business practice. And if you know me, I think I'm a pretty smart businesswoman. So I will not be sharing any of my keywords that I use to find actual items with you. You will have to come up with your own searches in order to find items. Now, so first thing you want to look for is, do they offer shipping? Not all online auctions have a shipping option. So what happens if you bid on an auction that doesn't have shipping and isn't local to you? Your card is charged and you lose the merchandise. That is your fault for not reading the terms and conditions. It is not the auction's fault. So the next kind is going to be a flat shipping. That means they will tell you for each lot you'll pay $10. Some of them will say you'll pay $10 per lot plus the actual shipping cost. And you really need to pay attention to that, because if you're bidding on a lot of lots, then that $10 can really add up and become pretty extensive. So I do take that into account, and whenever I'm telling you how much I paid for an item, I am calculating into that what I did pay for shipping. So next would be calculated. That means that auction house is packing it up free of service for you. They are only going to charge you the amount that they are paying. Now, beware, and I have learned this from buying from HighBid, a lot of these auctions like to use flat rate boxes, even if it will be half as much to ship it calculated. It just makes it easier for them. That is beyond our control. So that means if I buy one little piece of paper they're going to charge me $16 for a medium flat rate box. And I'm like, you could ship that for $4. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's on you to look at their terms. You can contact them. Most times I do not. I don't want to be a pest. I don't want to annoy them. And most of the lots that I am buying on, I could take a pretty heavy hit on shipping cost and still be very profitable on those lots. So I know that when I am bidding. Do I take the shipping into account? I do look at it before I'm bidding on an item, but a lot of times I know even if they charge me some ridiculous amount, again, I still will be able to make a profit. Now, I mentioned the surcharges. Definitely look at those. Some will be per lot, some will be like per the actual whole auction, and then others of them will charge you a box fee. Some of them are ridiculous and some of them don't want to ship. They will ship, but you're going to pay a lot. I've seen it as high as $25 per lot to ship, and those I typically stay away from. But I'll tell you, if I had a $500 profit item, I would pay them the $25 they were asking on top of the shipping cost. I would pay it if I had the profit margin there. Now, the other option, and a lot of the online high bid auctions use this, is to bring it to a UPS store. So some of them will charge you, say, $5 or $10 to actually bring your items to the UPS store, and some of them offer it for free, or they have an agreement with the UPS store. They will come by and pick your items up. But keep in mind that UPS stores charge you for the box, they charge you for the bubble wrap, they charge you for the handling. So a UPS store packaging your items, one of the pros of that is what they do. So when I get an item from a UPS store, I can pretty much ensure that it's going to be packed very, very safely, but the shipping tends to be about twice the cost. So if I know that I could ship that same item for $15, I expect to pay about $30 to the UPS store. So definitely keep that in mind. I wouldn't say to completely stay away from shipped items, because for me, there are a lot of items that I like to sell that are just not available to me locally. Okay, I want to point out that almost all auctions are as is. That means if something had a flaw and they didn't disclose it to you, that's your problem, not theirs. So please keep that in mind. I don't ever get mad if I get an item that has a flaw and I didn't notice, because most of these auctions have previews where you can go see and touch before the online bidding starts. I just do not take advantage of that because they are typically all so far away from me. I will tell you, I love auctions that have bad pictures. Why? Because then most people are not going to bid on it. I have developed a pretty good eye, so I can spot things that I know are worth quite a bit of value where others might not want to, or they might be scared to bid. But I know I'm getting that lot or that item at such a low price that I have plenty of room for profit in it. So the ones with one picture and that have crappy out of focus pictures, I personally love, because I know I'm going to get that merchandise cheaper. But again, keep it in mind. I am going to show you some screenshots here in a few minutes just to point out, again, on high bid, but most online auction sites are going to have these same terms and rules that you can look for. They just might be in a different spot. Now, cart lots or box lots are my absolute favorite, because you can get a box full of items for just one bid. That is how I got my high dollar teacups. It was actually a table lot full of teacups. You can also find ones that offer cart lots. What that means is if you think of like a busboy's cart at a restaurant, you know, multiple shelves, that is what it is, and it's full of merchandise. Some of them will also offer like big plastic shelves that were in somebody's garage. All of the merchandise that is on that whole shelf, you can get full linen closets, you can get full attics, you can get a full bedroom. Everything in the bedroom is included. So those are definitely my favorite, because I feel like you get the best value and have the most room for profit on those. Now, as far as actually looking for auctions, if you are using HiBid, I do have a couple of other HiBid videos that you're welcome to watch that do screen shares and show exactly how I look for stuff. This one I wanted to be a little more informative to make it a little more comfortable for those of you who are new to auctions to feel comfortable to actually bid on them. So if you are looking and you see nothing, again, I mentioned earlier, you can definitely expand the range you are looking, but a lot of these auction companies only have one per month. So if you're not looking at that 1 week that your auction company has that auction for the month, you might think that there are none near you. So I do recommend looking probably every 2 to 3 days because there are new auctions posted online every day. I am not looking at all. I'm trying not to buy because I have a shed full of inventory that is not listed. So that is why I didn't do a screen share with you. I knew if I went on HiBid to kind of demonstrate for you, I would end up bidding on something. So I am refraining from doing that. I did take some screenshots that we are going to look at, but I am not going to get into the actual looking. Now, I do offer live sourcing every other Saturday for my channel members, and if you're wondering where that is, below each video, when viewed on a computer, there's a join button. The sourcing is included in the $9.99 per month and up membership, and I will look in your zip code for you. If I can't find anything on HiBid, I do have several other auction sites I use, and we will look on those if we're unable to find anything on HiBid. So if you're uncomfortable, you also don't have to have me source for you, but you can go and watch me searching live for other people, and when you join, you have access to the past 2 years of those videos. So let's go ahead and take a look at some screenshots of HiBid. I'm going to show you where to look for some of this information, point out what is really important to pay attention to, and hopefully this will make it a little bit easier for you. All right, so this first screenshot here is the front page of HiBid. You can see on the top, it says welcome. It will say your name, and beside it, it will tell you your watch list. You can click on that to see items you're currently watching, and beside that, it will show you your bids. So those are really quick shortcuts to be able to find what you are looking for. Now, you can see HiBid does offer the option of shop by category. They have some highlighted auctions here, and I do want to point out, HiBid is not just one business. HiBid is a hosting site for hundreds and thousands of online estate auction companies, and each of them are individuals. So if you've had a bad experience with one, don't blame all of them. There definitely can be more companies out there that are really, really great. So you can search here by category, and my favorite way to search is going to be, if you see it says search zip code, and it tells you how many miles. Here you can see the drop down. It starts with anywhere, so that is what you would use if you were thinking you needed to get some items shipped to you. If there was nothing local, you just search for anywhere. Now, there is an option for 25 miles for those of you in metro areas where there are a lot of auctions. That might be an option. There is also 50 miles, 100 miles, and then it jumps to 250. I really wish they had a 150 mile option. They do not, unfortunately. Most of my really good local auctions are actually about 120 miles away, so I have to switch over to that 250 mile radius in order to find them. So I wanted to show you here, you can see that when I search 50 miles, there are 0 auctions from my zip code. Here I did increase it to 100 miles, and there are actually 32 auctions right now, which is pretty high. The one you can see here on the screenshot is actually a house with some property. So just because there's 32 auctions doesn't mean there's 32 good auctions. There might still not be any that have the type of items that I am looking for. But here you can see I switched it to 250 miles, and now I have an option of 94 auctions. Typically, they are going to be sorted by the ones that end the soonest until the ones that end the latest. Now here I'm going to show you an example. This is an online only jewelry auction. So you can see there in the red box on the right, it says online only. So that means there are no other ways that people can bid. Now, right here under the bidding notice, this auction company is very straightforward about it. It says we will ship via USPS, UPS, or FedEx. They can ship overnight on request, and they're telling you the different payment methods that they receive. So they have it right here on the front page, which is really, really great. If you want to learn more, you can click on the auction details button, and that is where you will find this. So I expanded the auction information. You can see it tells you who the auctioneer is, the type is online only, and this auction is actually only running for 2 days, from June 14th to June 16th. It will tell you the location. This is where you will find your buyer's premium. You can see this one is doing 14.5%. And again, lately, most of the ones I have been bidding on actually are 20 to 25% premium. So I don't think 14.5 is a very, very bad premium. Now, here in this screenshot, I clicked on the terms and conditions. I typically do not read through all of these, but you might want to. I did want to highlight here because this is most likely in almost every online auction you are bidding on, as well as when you register for an in-person auction. So this highlighted part says we sell everything as is. If there is a defect in a piece, we will highlight it both in the description and the picture if possible. The last thing we want is to sell you something and you not be satisfied because it is not what you expected. Please feel free to ask us for clarification prior to the auction if you have any questions regarding the condition or construction of item. What they are saying there in a nice way is that if you don't confirm before you bid, then it is your problem. So please keep that in mind. Now, another section in that auction information tab, this is the shipping and pickup. And here they say they ship worldwide via USPS, UPS, and FedEx. This company does not tell you the fees. So you have no way of knowing what those fees are. You could call them and ask, do you charge a handling fee? Is there a per lot fee? I typically do not, again, because I am bidding on lots that I have plenty of room if they hit me with a high shipping fee. Now, here is an auction that I want to show you. This was in Cairo, Georgia. So this one came up in my local area. But this one, you can read the title. It says Summer Online Estate Auction, no shipping. A lot of the auctions will be very upfront. You will see it in the title, such as you see in this one. So if you were to bid in this and you were unable to pick it up, you would still be liable to pay for those items, but you would forfeit them if you were not able to drive to Georgia to pick them up. And they have kind of a summary here. Again, they're telling you, keep in mind there's no shipping. They will verify your credit card for registration. Pickup times are Friday, Saturday, and Monday. So they do have 3 days, which is nice. And they're telling you the 15% buyer's premium. So they pretty much summed it all up into one paragraph. In my experience, this is probably an auction company that has quite a bit of experience. Now, here is another auction. I was trying to show you some different things you might see under shipping. This one says all lots will be shipped. This one's actually the opposite. There is no pickup available. This is an only shipping auction. I believe this was a jewelry auction, so all small things. So here it says their shipping rates. If you buy up to $300, it will be $7 shipping. 300 to 1,000 will be 10. Over 1,000 will be 20. And there is a $40 flat charge for FedEx shipping, which is optional. Please ask. So I'm assuming maybe if it was a larger item or something like that. So this company is laying it out by dollar amount how much you will pay for shipping. And here I wanted to show you another type of auction and where to look. So if you see that says choice auction Friday, 17th, June 2022. Underneath it, this one says absentee. So this is one that you would be able to place bids on prior to the live, but you would have no control after the final pre-bidding ends. It is also going to be offered to buyers in person, so unless you bid higher than they are willing to pay, you would not win the item. This one is a webcast, so Best of Florida Estate Jewelry, Art, and Glass. Underneath it says live webcast auction. Here it says the date is 6/17. Pre-bidding is open, so you can pre-bid on this until it goes live, and then while it's live on a webcast, you're still able to bid, unlike an absentee one. So this one says they have a gallery estate auction every Friday at 6:30 p.m. No reserves. So with this one, you would be able to watch that live webcast and you could place bids while it is live. I typically on this one, about 3 minutes before it goes live, will place close to my highest bid, because as I said earlier in this video, a lot of times the floor bidder is going to bid, your bid doesn't get through the internet fast enough, and you end up losing the item. Here is another example of shipping. This one says we ship in-house. So as I said earlier, a lot of them will use UPS stores, so they don't deal with it at all. This one says worldwide via USPS, and they take care of it all. Shipping costs will automatically be applied to your invoice. They do combine shipping, and you may pick up in-house as well. So here they are doing it themselves, which typically is going to be cheaper than if somebody brings it to a UPS store. They are not telling you they have a per lot fee. In my experience, if they do have a per lot fee, they are going to tell you. Now, here is another one that says that you can pick up, or they have shipping fees. Shipping will be within 2 weeks of purchase. Beware, some of these companies will take up to a month to ship your item. So this one, if you spend $1 to $99, it is a flat rate of $25 per item. Okay, this one is high. $100 to $499. It is $50 per item. This auction company does not want to ship, from what I am reading. As you spend more with them, they are charging you more. So from $500 to $99, they're going to charge you $100 per item. And then if you spend over $1,000, they're going to charge you $200 per item. So you would think it would be completely the opposite, but it is not. So watch for ones like these. And now here though, for jewelry items, it says jewelry will be subject to a $50 shipping insurance per piece, but no other shipping. But they have no pickup option for jewelry. That means for every piece of jewelry you bought from this auction, they're going to charge you $50 to cover the insurance. Now, it says they have a no questions asked return policy, which is great for these auctions, but these shipping prices are absolutely ridiculous. Now, here I have highlighted for you, this is where the checkout date and time is. So this is where you would need to look to see when you need to pick those items up. This one again says there is no shipping. They will verify your card. If you have not picked up within 1 week of the end of the auction, your items will be considered abandoned and become property of the auction with no refunds of any kind. Pickup times again, Friday, Saturday, and Monday for this particular company. It is going to be different for each. Make sure that you read this part. I wanted to show you this because this is pretty rare. This one is the one showing that they do not have a buyer's premium for the event. But the funny thing is, this is the one that is gouging you on the shipping cost. All right, so I hope that going through all of this has helped you and maybe made buying on auctions a little less scary. I do have videos of me at a live auction if you would like to watch that. I also have high bid screen share with me going through and looking for stuff as well. So if you want to kind of watch that, definitely check those out, as well as my online live sourcing where I look in your zip code for you. So if you're interested in that, click the join button below any video when viewed on a computer. I appreciate you guys watching. I am recording this on Thursday. You will be watching it on Friday. I am going to attempt to go out on the boat by myself. Not by myself, but I will be the one driving the boat. It will be with my mom and my daughter and Dalton because Brad is not feeling well. So hopefully I'm in the premiere with you chatting and I didn't like wreck the boat. I am certified to drive it, but I'm really not comfortable doing so. So kind of scared, not gonna lie, kind of scared. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a really great weekend. I will see you on Monday with a What Sold video. I hope you have fun this weekend and I hope you get a lot of sales. Bye for now.